Hey guys, excuse me. So good morning. It's Tuesday. We're done with the holiday, approaching autumn, laying aside one season, embracing the next. Not always easy to do because we find that some seasons we love better than others, but life moves on and there is absolutely nothing that we can do about it. We can cling, sorry guys, we can cling to the past, but that doesn't help the future. At the same time, it most certainly does not help the present moment. So we can find ourselves stuck. We can find ourselves stuck in a certain energy that's not serving us in any way. Or, to the best that we're able, to varying degrees, we can open ourselves to what is present. I had a bit of an epiphany um, earlier in the spring. This was around May. It's when we reached that peak greenness. The world is just overwhelmingly green and vibrant with new life, energy, sunlight going through the trees. And I realized, being embraced by the greenness of the world, that it's not truly present. That, sorry, saying hi to my cat, um, that the colors of autumn, brown, reddish, um, orangish, um, are already present within the leaves. The green is an illusion, that it is the chlorophyll being reflected by the light, chlorophyll within the leaves being reflected by the light that gives it the illusion of the color green. So that autumn is actually already present within the leaf itself, meaning every season is present within the season that's occurring now. So knowing that, we just surrender. Kayla's here. Kayla says, hi, Yogi. Thanks so much for being there for me. Says, good morning. Absolutely. I love being there for you. I have a Kayla Boo practice. When I see Kayla go live, or when she's live in the morning, put her up on my desktop, and it stays up until she's done live streaming. It's a little way of giving support. Someone that you care about, someone that you like what they're doing. Kayla clearly loves what she does on YouTube. How can I not support that? Why wouldn't I want to support it? It's an easy enough thing to do. So, here is a daily prayer from A Course in Miracles. Let's see. Fallen Uchia? I know I said that wrong. I apologize. CJ Stroud or Josh Allen. I don't know who either of them are. And with that in mind, I'm going to say CJ Stroud and Josh Allen instead of one or the other. And even if I knew who they are, I would still say and. Never has to be either or. It can always be and. So for me, let's see. Fallen says you can't pick both. I need an option. Well, you already have the option. You have the option of picking one or picking the other. That's the option. What you need is fantasy draft. All right, I don't know. I have no opinion. I'll be honest with you. All right, need an opinion. You got it. I don't have an opinion. I'm going to give you just an intuitive hunch and say CJ Stroud. based on absolutely nothing than just being quiet, listening to my own intuition. Fallen says, perfect, you're the man. Hey, Fallen, if you get a chance, uh, keep me posted through the season and let me know how this plays out for you. Wishing you the best. So I'm going to be honest with you. It's funny talking about intuition, getting quiet, listening to intuition. That's what I wrote about this morning because I was thinking about a morning prayer. Squirrel Sniper says, Grand Risings. Eric, Grand Risings to you, my friend. I have often throughout my life made a complete mess of my little slice of the world, which of course has corresponding effects. Nothing happens in isolation. I make a mess of my world, those who are in contact with me, those who interact with me. Um, hey, in a quantum sense, those who are entangled with me, who've ever interacted with me in the past, they're still entangled. Means that in small ways, but meaningful, I felt make a mess of their world as well. I feel responsible for that. No longer guilty, but responsible. So what do? I give up making a mess out of my world to the best that I'm able, and I offer a little prayer that is in the Course of Miracles. I'm asking for guidance. I'm asking for a greater intelligence. We say God. Hey, Mary, how are you? We can say God, we can say the Tao, we can say Krishna, Holy Spirit, Jesus, it doesn't matter. We can simply say life or love. Mary says, long time no see. It has been. Hope all is well with you, my friend. So, Fallen says, my life is in shambles, but I have fantasy football, so I desperately hold on to that for all my happiness. Hey, I've been there. Not with fantasy football, though, but with other things, most particularly a decade for alcohol. Let's see. Mallory says he's good. Glad to hear that. Squirrel says Ubuntu is a grand word. Eric, I'm going to have to look that up, Squirrel. Hey, Optimob, where are we watch hour wise, my friend? So let me get to the prayer. This isn't a traditional prayer of being on our knees and asking for something. What I'm doing is just from waking up, after a few moments after I say thank you to the universe itself for providing me everything that I need, I offer this prayer. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? Here's what I'm asking for. Not to rely on my own limited self, my own small set of beliefs that have caused my life to be in shambles. I'm the one who's responsible for my life being a mess. No one else. God isn't responsible for it. Life isn't responsible for it. Bad luck isn't responsible for it. Me. Decisions that I made thinking that I know best. It's all based upon my ego. My ego doesn't know best. It only knows what it wants, when it wants it, and it's always now. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. I don't want to wait. I don't have infinite patience. My ego's always made mistakes and always will make mistakes. That's just life. However, life itself, the Tao, God, the Holy Spirit, knows better. Let's see. Us police is calling the police. Awesome. Glad to hear that. 164 watch hours. Man, that's awesome. That means you're already there because you got 5 days being held. So we are there. Sabine says good morning. So knowing that I make a mistake, knowing that I make the mistake of listening to my ego every day, moment by moment by moment by moment, I shrug. I give it up. I don't have to listen to the ego any longer. I simply say, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and to whom? I'm asking for the voice of life, the voice of God, the voice of love to be expressed through me every moment, every moment. And I can do that knowing that there's two voices all the time in my mind. There is the voice of the ego, which is always, always wrong. And there is the voice of love. That is always right. I'm asking for the wisdom to know the difference between the two. And to the best that I'm able, to the best that I'm possible, to listen and express that voice of love. Fallen says, man, I had a mushroom experience and it tore down my ego and showed me a lot about myself and how I'm my own worst enemy. I've had similar experience with similar things, if not the exact thing. But that was decades and decades ago. What we find is that the ego has an uncanny ability to build itself back up. So even after we have that experience, in a matter of days, weeks, months, years, the ego has built itself back up. But very cleverly, what it will do is build itself up with the remains of that spiritual experience. Now it built itself up and says, I'm a spiritual person. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm spiritual. Which is still just a claim of the ego. Because unconditional love doesn't make claims. God doesn't make claims. The Tao doesn't make claims. Pure spirit doesn't make claims. Fallen says, it's a protection thing that will most always come back if you're not careful and aware. Man, that was beautifully said, Fallen. Absolutely. Optimom gives Squirrel Sniper a thumbs up. Squirrel Sniper is on the ball. Doesn't get that name by accident. You got to be sharp-eyed, keen instincts, and perfect reflexes to be a sniper. And that aptly describes our friend Squirrel Sniper. So, yeah, knowing that the ego is going to always build itself up, is always going to guide me in the wrong direction. This isn't to say that we need to battle the ego. We don't need to do anything to the ego. The ego doesn't really exist as an entity. It's a collection of ideas and beliefs, an energetic thought system that we have falsely identified with. The wisdom can be the ego can be very useful in guiding us, protecting us through life, but not when we believe that we are the ego instead of the awareness itself, the openness, the spaciousness. The more we surrender to that spaciousness, the more we are divinely guided. This is why in the morning, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say and to whom? Simple prayer. We're offering up to the universe. We're saying, I've made a mess of things. Yesterday I made a mess of things. This morning, I don't want to make a mess of things. Guide me. Lead me. I'm giving my life to you. Because I'll be honest with you, it can't do any worse than I've done. Let's see. Fallen says, can you suggest a way to resist the ego taking over? Good morning, Sabine. Squirrel Sniper says, and also have two forms of exit. Smart thinking. I can suggest a way. Simply be aware. Know that you have those two voices, the ego and love. They are not battling each other because only one is true. If you know that the ego isn't true, isn't based in reality itself, but is an illusion, a useful illusion, but still an illusion, you don't have to battle it. You also don't have to resist it taking over because you simply recognize it. Meditation is helpful because you become more aware of being aware. I love that expression, aware of being aware. If you were aware of being aware 24/7, you'd be enlightened. The potentiality of enlightenment is already there. We are aware. We're just simply not always aware that we are aware. The more that we can remind ourselves of that, the more we dip into that enlightened ocean of which we are. So we meditate, we do some breath work through the day, and we make mistakes. And then we self-correct. Whenever the voice of the ego takes over, and it will, and we're fully immersed, as soon as we realize it, we step back. And we don't have to, again, we don't have to battle the ego. We just recognize it. We get a poop howdy from our friend Jace. Poop howdy to you, my friend. Erica Schramm says, hi. Hello, my friend. How are you? Hey, Ash. How are you? We get a poop howdy to Jason. Hey, Yogi. Thank you, Ash. Let's see. Fallen says, I don't want to get into drug talk, but I've heard ayahuasca with a good shaman can really change your life in that way. I think it probably could. The difficulty is finding a good shaman. And also, the same thing will happen. Eventually, the ego builds itself up as I've had this great experience. Remember, experience itself isn't the thing. It's just a glimpse. This is why Huxley in Doors of Perception reminds us any of those experiences aren't the thing itself. And when we rely on outer sources to take us there, it gets more and more difficult. So we look for more and more experiences. This is why surrendering to meditation itself, which is always available, is a more reliable way of doing it. Timo says, I'm in the back working, which means that Optimob Timo is editing away on the next perfect video offering. Sniper says, fallen hermits have no ego. The world is a stage. We're mere players. Unless you realize you, the older soul, in this realm, the more we become observers and less participants. Which could be taken right out of yogic or Vedic wisdom. They call it Lila, the divine play of the world. And we are merely characters, egoically speaking, in that play. But the play itself is an illusion, Maya. The illusion, we are the witness, we are the observer. The more we meditate, the more we relate to the witness. And at some point, even the witness is let go, and there is just this, isness. Beautifully said, School Sniper. The problem is we're great actors. We're the greatest actors of all. We fully believe we're immersed in that role of me, of Eric, of Yogi. And we play it so well, we forget that we're playing that role. The key is just remember. And remember to remember. That's the hardest part. Ash says, I'm good. Just popping in since I have to take my have to get my fake tooth right now. So goodbye. Goodbye, Ash. Hey, I hope you're out of pain. Because, man, I know that hurt. Squirrel Sniper had a similar experience. I guess it was about a month ago. Jace is waving at Squirrel. Fallen says, thank you, Sniper. Jace waves at Fallen. Fallen says, I just think I can't get over my wall, even if I could for a short while. I feel I could change for the better, but I can't get that first step. Hey, just the fact that you're aware of that is not only the first step, it's the last step. Just being aware of that. The only issue, the only problem is the thought that there is something for you to do. Relax as you are, and you are. Does that make sense? If we liken it to what Nisargadatta Maharaj said, the I am is always present. Ask yourself this, Fallen, are you never not aware? That doesn't mean attention. Of course, there's so oftentimes that we're not paying attention. But are you ever not aware? You're even aware of not paying attention. Awareness is always present. Awareness is what you are. Always present, always there. When you wake up in the morning, aren't you already aware? You might not have any content to be aware of, but you're aware. When you're asleep, you are aware without content of awareness. You are aware of sleep. You are aware of everything that divine intelligence happening. Jay says, good luck, Ash. Sniper says, Fallen, if you can find an old key, any key will do, wear it so it hangs on your heart. Excellent suggestion. Fallen says, I've turned to psych medicines in times like this, but like you said, the ego will always come back. You can't rely on outside sources, and you don't have to worry about the ego coming back. Befriend the ego, smile at the ego. This is what St. Francis did, and he got to the point where he would literally refer to it as the third person. Francesco is hungry. Francesco is tired, knowing that as the original source of unconditional love, he himself could never be hungry, could never be tired. But he honored that small self and offered it love. Love your way through the ego. Don't fight it. Don't even resist it. Love your way through it. Do the morning prayer. Ask God, or life, or love, where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And allow yourself to be guided. If you find you're making decisions that don't reflect unconditional love, you're listening to the ego. Let's see. Smee says, please, we need your help. Our dearest friend Barb was rushed back into the hospital. Please play with that and send all your thoughts, strength, and love we have to Barb. Absolutely. Yep, I got a message from Wolf this morning on Facebook. I haven't had the opportunity to reply, but I have offered my prayers to Barb and to Wolf as well for strength. It is never easy on the other person as well. So thank you, Sabine. Much prayers, deep prayers, and all love to Barb and to Wolf. Squirrel says, cosmic ordered strength and fast recovery for Barb. Sabine says, we just got the message now, why I was distracted. And Sabine says, thank you guys, big hugs to you all, and to you as well. Thank you, Sabine. Let's see. And Fallen says, listen, Eric, I really appreciate your kind words. You as well, Sniper. Sometimes you have to hear it from someone else. And most importantly, is to realize you didn't hear it from somewhere else. this morning I said that little prayer that I offered. And I try to do it every morning that I can remember. I try to do it before every live stream so that I know that each live stream I'm saying just what needed to be said. So these are the words for you. This is your own. There is no other between us. This is what Ramana Maharshi said when he was asked, how do we treat others? And he smiled and said, there are no others. So you didn't hear it from somewhere else, Fallen. You heard it from yourself. Squirrel Sniper and myself, we just happened to be the vehicles through which love was available to you. And I'm happy to have been there. Squirrel Sniper says, synchronicity brought you here at Fallen. It will all be okay. As always, Squirrel Sniper nails it. Thank you. Jace says, Fallen, you don't have to hear the words. It's about understanding those words. Absolutely. Thank you, Jace. So, with that, guys, I'm going to wrap it up for the morning. I'll be back. Hey, Jace, before I close out, did you hear that? Sorry, I forgot to write it down. Let me go back up. It was 164, right? That Timo is now at 164 watch hours. There it is, 164. Let me write that down. Which with 5 days withheld, they're in. They're there. Fallen says, keep doing your thing, Eric. Thank you much, my guy. Thank you much, you guys. You're welcome, my friend. Sabine says, thank you, Yogi Eric, and to everyone in the beautiful chat. Thank you, Sabine. Jay says, something flat today, Eric. I will be on the lookout. So, before we close up, if you guys can hear my cat's saying hi to you all. Here we go. Before we close up, we're asking life. We're asking unconditional love, the Tao, God. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say, and to whom? And we offer that to guidance to each of us. With that, guys, I will see you all later. Take care.